Live from the historic Detroit Golf Club. Home of the Rocket Mortgage Classic. It's the Spin on Golf Show presented by Rocket Mortgage. With your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Mike Fay, Brian Cairns, and WJR's own Sean Baligian.
Well, good evening, everybody. So glad you could join us. Another edition of Spin on Golf here on 760 WJR. As Mr. Big Voice mentioned, we've got the boys, Jordan and BC, out at the beautiful Detroit golf course. You've got the one, the only, Mike Fay. Mike, way up north, is that where we're at?
We're up north here celebrating my daughter's birthday weekend up north.
Cool.
So
Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday. How old is she? Maybe we ask?
Turning 14 of them today.
Oh,
so
the best.
very good.
Absolutely the best. Lots going on, as we were talking about with Chris Renwick. We've got the PGA just a week away, less than a week away, and we're going to be talking about that. Some of the favorites, a course that BC is familiar with. We'll get his take on that. What's new with you fellas, JY, BC?
Well, I'm entertaining BC tonight here at Detroit Golf Club. We were going to take a little peek around the property and see what was changing, but we never got time. We were kind of distracted on the way in, and we're arguing about the PGA Championship to see who was going to win and how long the course was going to play.
78-45.
7,845 yards.
We played it at 70.
Wow.
Whose dog is that?
That must be Bailey.
Is that Bailey?
That is.
Yeah.
So we played
Is
it.
that our first guest?
Yeah. Already barking at us. It's all right. We're used to it.
It's okay.
So we played it at 77-40 the first day when we were down there last year, Bogue, and you can add another 100 onto that. So they're at 70.
Yeah, I didn't play it. I walked about 8,800.
Oh my, yeah, I hit it zigzag. But anyway, yeah. So 78-45. I just talked to Todd Gary, who's setting up the back nine. Todd from the PGA of America, and he said, "Well, it looks like we can get a little more aggressive with the flag sticks this week because the wind's not going to blow. So look for some 3s and 4s on every hole from the edges at that place."
Now, just think about that. Like, you're hitting in, how many times do we hit in 5 irons and 4 irons into holes that we play?
Lumber.
And we're not even that good.
No.
But can you imagine playing a course? I mean, I know when we I actually played at Whistling Straits, and there was a couple holes that I couldn't get to.
Yeah.
18 I couldn't get to. But I mean, I'm not very good with a 9-iron or 8-iron in my hand right now, but I mean, 4-iron?
I mean, 4-iron or 5-iron to these guys.
They're going to be ripping those. Well,
I mean, they hit them straight up in the air. They have a different trajectory, but still, you've been to Kiawah and you've seen some of the bumps and runoffs. You know, if you miss it 3 feet over there, the ball just goes somewhere where you can't get it up and down. So, I mean, the patience is obviously the biggest thing at that place, because you know you're going to get some Pete dye bounces and
So,
but the clubs, I mean, they'll be hitting. It's going to be.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting.
So they also changed the grass, right? Because when we were there, what was that, 2012 or so?
No, they still have Pospalm.
Oh, it is still Pospalm?
still
I thought they
Pospalm.
might have changed the grass.
They just restarted the whole place.
Okay.
But they added some pot bunkers on 12. They added 60 yards on 12. They added 40 yards on 6. Now it's 519 par 4 instead of, just 480. It's no big deal. Now it's
480 to 519.
And you have to understand, these holes, when you go 6 through 13, go due west or potentially left or right into the wind. But it does look like the winds are going to be southeast primarily, which means those holes will be downwind. But the holes coming back in, 14 to 18, are into the wind.
If you ever want to see CBC in his next life, he'd be a meteorologist on wind directions and barometric pressure.
It's important. It's so important.
He knows it every day. He knows exactly what it is.
He read my mind. BC, I wanted to ask you, I mean, that ocean course, how big of a factor is it?
You're at sea level, and you think the ball's going to hum a little bit more because you're at 85. When we're at 95 degrees with 90% humidity with mosquitoes following us around all over the place.
And dirt.
And dirt, yeah, and dust. But you had to factor in the ball's a little bit hotter, but then you had to factor it. Wait a minute, I'm at zero sea level here. So I've taken off maybe 5% already off of that, plus the humidity. Okay, the ball might go a little bit farther. But then again, I got salt air and sea air. It's maybe a little more dense, so it all balanced out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But all that stuff kind of goes in the factoring of clubs, and then the grass is different. Like Jordan said, Bermuda grass.
The time of year too. Like
time of year is
we
different.
were there in August, and
It's
these guys
May.
are here in May.
So the grass.
And you were just there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a lot. To me, the ground seemed a lot firmer. They haven't had their heavy rains in the summer, and the greens. From what Ben Cook said today, I talked to Ben on the way in. Ben said, "Man, the place." I'm kind of surprised the greens aren't that fast. I'm like, you really can't make them fast because it's a seaside golf course.
And it's Sunday.
But come Thursday, I mean, if it doesn't blow, they're going to do something to protect the golf course, which is they're going to let it just kind of dry out. And it looks like the big orange globe is going to be up in the sky all week long. So it's getting no protection this week.
What about somebody with a good short game, you guys? They have a good short game to win, BC. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you this: it never hurts.
It never hurts,
Yeah.
right? But the problem with that is you got to be able to hit it, Mike. There, you really have to stand up there and
Beat it.
and kind of grab them, and you got to beat it. You really do.
Mhm.
It's a big boy golf course, and it doesn't look that intimidating on some holes, but if you miss it, Pete Dye really makes you pay with the wrong angle. Or the wrong runoff, and I don't care how good of a short game you have, place makes you look like an idiot sometimes. It's just really demanding. It really is.
Mhm.
Yeah, extended forecast. I just looked it up. 78, 78, 81, 85. And as you mentioned, BC, lots of sun. Heck, it's going to be warmer here, according to the extended forecast.
Exactly.
We've got upper 80s coming up next weekend and everything, but it should be a great week of golf down there on the island.
Yeah, it really is going to be great. I think just because it's one of my favorite places in the world, I think it's going to be an unbelievable championship because there's so many guys that hit it so high and so far now that, like we were talking before on the crosstalk there, that there's so many guys you can just start naming guys that hit it high and far. Well, like maybe 120 of them this week hit it high and far.
I'm just looking at the guys who played well this week. Burns finished second again.
Right.
He was leading there for a while. I mean, Berger kind of hooks it a little bit, but he hits it pretty far. Scott Stallings finished third. Surprise Schwartzel T3, but Vegas ninth.
Vegas hits it high and
Spieth
far.
ninth. Donald doesn't hit it very far. He finished 13th.
Nope.
Zalatoris tied for 17th.
Oof, boy, there's a fearless kid that could just do
Yeah.
amazing things there. I mean, like he did at Augusta.
Like a Rahm
is,
you
boy, another great pick.
is DJ even playing?
I don't know.
I don't know
Kinda
yet. I
like
guess we'll have to find out. I'm
silent.
not sure.
Been very silent in this camp thus far.
So,
I like a Paul Casey there too, because Paul Casey, remember,
mhm.
we beat Paul Casey that week, so he's maybe got a little revenge this week.
A little BC revenge.
Yeah, beat Paul Casey.
A little BC revenge.
Yeah, exactly.
About
All right.
7 weeks away, the action will be where BC and Jordan are sitting, of course. We're looking forward to that with our own Rocket Mortgage Classic, but certainly more talk on next week's event down in South Carolina. As we talked about earlier in the show, just a subtle reminder coming up on about 15 minutes, Ken Griffin, the golf director of sales and marketing up at Boyne, will be joining us. I've heard each one of these guys say it together and individually. You looking to take that golf trip? Why leave the state? There's so many beautiful places to go, and certainly Boyne is amongst them. We'll check in with the LPGA, check in locally as well. Some of the stuff that went on this past week, always something going on. That's why we're here each and every Sunday night. So glad you could join us. Mike Fay, Jordan Young, BC. I'm Sean Baligian. Glad you could join us here. Spin on Golf on 760 WJR.
Larkin Gross. Is he a PGA guy?
Yes, he finished fourth. Newbie,
Wow.
never played. When you look at the newbies that haven't played down there, that's not a
I'm
good
looking
place.
at the field right now.
It's not a
and
good place.
pictures.
Not a good place to play if that's your first event. Oh my gosh.
What do you guys want to
Omar
hit on
Aresti.
next? Is there a direction you guys want to
How
go?
about the NCAA women's decision at Baton Rouge?
Okay.
I don't know what you were talking about there.
Oh, they canceled the
Oh,
event.
they canceled the whole thing.
I mean, the
Why?
coaches were out there were showing
Yeah.
the unplayable. Okay, so the golf course is unplayable. The coach is
Seriously?
Mississippi State coach, I know. So they're out there videoing the golf course, and they could have played what, maybe
Mhm.
6 par threes, Mike. But
Yeah,
to play the rest of
probably.
the golf course the way it was, you would have played you would have had a 36-hole competition to decide who goes to the NCAA final. So how do you take a team that's 7th that has 4 seniors on it and say, you're done with your career,
Yeah, all done.
You're
So they
done.
cancel it due to the course conditions?
canceled? I mean, they stood up
Yeah.
there and said, heartfelt, wrenching decision, but
Wait
the
a
course is
second.
unplayable for a championship.
NCAA.
And the people were just
women's-
booing.
Going nuts.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
I'll be
oh
right
my
back
God.
with some water.
These
I
poor
need to
girls.
read about that because Barstool, didn't they come up with a
Oh, yeah.
solution to help, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, Barstool did have a good
Where was it?
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Yeah, nightmare. I mean, nightmare. I'm
So
like,
did they not
No,
even play? They didn't even
no.
play
didn't even play.
a round?
6 teams advance and the top 3 individuals advance without even teeing a ball up.
There was no LPGA event this week. Pure Silk Championships next week. And the
Right. Champions
Mitsubishi.
Tour.
Yeah, Champions Tour. Dickie Pride.
Monday qualifier.
Making it happen.
Yeah, Dickie Pride.
Monday qualifier. How about
Yeah,
that?
it's good.
Yeah, that's cool. First time since whatever 2017 a Monday qualifier won. But
Yeah, it's so cool.
here's a guy that's made how many cuts on the PGA
The top
Tour?
6 teams that were seeded will advance along with the top 3 individual that were not on those teams.
Yeah, how about that? Who was the 7th team? I mean, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. That you
I don't
know,
know. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up on GolfStat.
really ugly, really a big, ugly thing. But yeah, how'd you like to be Dickie Pride and you go, Dickie, you get a Monday qualified this week because you don't have enough lifetime earnings, but even though you had a tour card for 20 years
And you got a W.
and you got a W down in
It's so
Joe.
good.
Yeah, it's really good.
How
Good
come
for
I'm
him.
not seeing the regionals here?
The women's
Yeah.
regionals on GolfStat?
Did you
Yeah.
catch that, Sean?
What's that? I'm sorry.
That Dickie Pride won today, the senior
Yes.
tour,
Yep.
Monday
Mm.
qualifier.
and he won.
That's pretty rare to be a Monday
He didn't-
qualifier and play the whole distance. And
He played how many years on the PGA Tour?
20.
Awesome.
Welcome back to the Spin on Golf Show presented by Rocket Mortgage and the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Now back to your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Mike Fay, Brian Cairns, and WJR's own Sean Belegian.
You know, it's interesting. We want to get into what happened to the women in the NCAA this weekend. But just before we went to the break, we would be remiss if we did not mention this. Dickie Pride, the pride of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm here all
Yep.
week.
That's talent. That's lots of talent there.
What
Sean.
what a story. He qualified on Monday, correct?
Yeah, he's a Monday qualifier. He got in a sponsors exemption last week, played pretty decent, but didn't get a top 10. But a friend of mine that's listening, Jeff Bergeron, actually played with him and had some good stories about Dickie Pride. And he's a really, really a good guy. And he was on tour for I don't know, 20 years
Mhm.
and doesn't even have exempt status out there.
So he had to Monday qualify. He got in and he won. Obviously, won the event.
Now he's good.
Yeah.
Now you're good. Yeah.
So good.
Mitsubishi
The best.
Classic.
Yep.
Duluth, Georgia.
Yeah,
You know what's interesting? I don't know if you guys heard about this, but here's the headline from Golf Week. Quote, tears flowed like rain in Baton Rouge.
Oh,
People still reacting, still angry, still in astonishment over the decision to cancel the NCAA women's regional. And BC, I know you were all kinds of fired up about this one.
Oh, I get Scott Fawcett's tweets, and I can't repeat what he said online about it, but he's 100% correct. I mean, this was unbelievable, Mike. You never call a tournament until you can't play it. And
Exactly.
was it premature?
So describe what
Absolutely.
happened. The course conditions were not appropriate before the tournament started. They all got there.
They were there.
They got there. The coaches went out on the course and deemed the course unplayable.
Yep.
I haven't seen any pictures. I don't know. I mean, it had been pretty bad. Was it because of rain?
Rain, yes.
So it
They got a
was
lot of rain.
rain
They got a lot of
and
rain.
more like flooding type situation?
Yeah, in some areas, but the golf course was what the players would deem and the coaches would deem playable for a championship. I mean, they're all playing the same slop at the end of the day, right? I mean, and you're competing against those teams on that condition to go to the finals, NCAA finals. So
Yeah, and you set the stages. You've got about, it's usually about 16 to 18 teams
Right.
playing for,
6 spots.
6 team spots to advance to
Right.
nationals, which is a pretty big deal. It's really intense. It's pretty tight. All the teams are very good that are competing.
Yep.
And then you take some of the top 3 or 4 individuals.
I mean, to their
Um,
credit, the golf course is not to their credit, but to their defense. There was another tournament a few days after. They protecting the golf course for that tournament, keep it playable for them.
What the
Hopefully,
heck
the
tournament would
Australians-
that have
I'm not going to get that much into it because I've got my emotions.
I
on this
mean,
one,
the
it's really-
NCAA regionals is a pretty big
It's a
tournament.
pretty big event, and you know what? You are just basically shutting down girls' careers. They're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. This is how you go out. I mean, really a bad.
And
bad
with
deal.
everything in the past year, are you kidding me?
Oh,
I
yeah.
just, it's interesting. I'm reading this story, and evidently the University Club golf course had taken on 7 inches of rain over 3 days. It had standing water on a few holes and bunkers. Now, here is the part that seemed to really be an issue with a lot of the coaches. The committee representative said that the course was playable, but not up to a championship level. And I'll ask you 3, because the coaches were all saying, what on earth does that mean? It's playable, but not to a championship level, so not going to play? I mean, how do you define something like that?
So now we have subjectivity, raining. That's how we're running our lives here. Subjectivity,
So wait a second.
kind of like Ontario golf right now, huh?
We'll
No,
get
that's
there.
another thing we need to chat about tonight.
Yeah.
So wait a second. The coaches decided, or the NCAA decided?
NCAA.
Bottom,
The
bottom line.
NCAA should have went to the coaches and asked them
Absolutely.
to vote.
You could have been 100. It'd have been 16 hands up in the air. Let's
Yeah,
play.
because
Let's
then
play.
put it in their hands. I
Right.
mean, obviously, it's not a great situation.
No.
But what's the next best thing? Reschedule it or try to get it done?
Get it done.
I don't
Get it
know.
done
I
at
mean,
all costs.
obviously, we're not there. We
Right.
don't know all the details, but I'm just hearing of this in the last half hour, and it's like, wow, I've never heard of that.
It's a biggie. That's a biggie, and like I said, the poor girls, the poor girls that have, you work with
Mhm.
students and
Mhm.
girls a long time, and they get maybe a little more emotional than men do, but poor girls. I mean, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's
Sam
it.
Houston's golf coach was quoted as saying, I've never seen that. I've played pro golf. I've played NC2A regionals as a player. I've coached it. I've played in the U.S. Amateur. I've never seen this. It was the committee and the rules official. I don't know why they came to that conclusion, but it is mind-boggling. And I think if you just announce that you felt the course wasn't playable, I'm not saying it's more tolerable, or that it is tolerable. But I think when you say it's playable, but not at a championship level, that's when the head scratching begins. Because not only are you ticked off, but now you're, the huh part is the worst. What does that mean?
Yeah. At what point? I mean, who determines what a championship golf course is and what a championship setup is? And I think you put the flags in the middle of the green and put the tees at the 150 markers and say, okay, let's go at it. I mean,
Well, just think though, it's not like
go.
the PGA Tour, or the LPGA Tour, where these athletes have to travel to a different
Right.
destination and get their gear going on Monday for the next week. And the tours make a decision based on the weather, and if they can get them back
TV
there the
and-
next day, and TV for for whatever it is, they do their best. Like today, they tried to move the roundup, and they
Right.
did.
Yep.
They still got caught, but they got it done.
Yep.
They probably wouldn't have got it done. As I'm looking at these pictures of the rain on Twitter here with Amanda's Bellionis with her feed, and it looks like, I mean, all I see is water out there. I don't even see any grass, and they finished.
Right.
I know the golf course might drain a little better, but man, it's crazy. But at least they can play golf, unlike my friends in Ontario,
Are you
Canada.
kidding me? I mean,
Very painful.
I'm not going to say martial law, but this is out of control.
How
These
can they
poor
not have the
people.
golf courses open?
Hey,
Oh,
they're
Sean.
Sean, they're south of us and they can't play golf.
Mike, you know,
Right.
you probably talked to Jason
Yeah,
Hellman, our
I
friend.
told Mr. Hellman daily, you guys, and it's not just that. I mean, it's like if you go to the Walmart, you can't buy anything but groceries. That's all you can buy. They won't let you buy a broom. They won't let you buy anything, nothing
What?
but groceries when you go to the store.
And this is until June 2nd.
Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Thank goodness Beckman's not on this show because we have a different point of view. I mean, God
Well,
Very, very tough.
let's put it this way. I have some friends in Ontario who, to put it in terms that I think you'll all understand, are on the other side of the aisle from me. And a year ago, they were all in with some of this stuff. To say that they are ticked off now and thinking the right way would be an understatement. It is incredible what is happening in that province. It really is.
I don't know what an outdoor activity is harm. What's it doing? I don't. I mean, you can follow the science. What science? Where's there science in that? There is no science. There's.
I don't know, but I'll say this, and I don't want to go way out on a limb on the radio or say anything bad against anything, because we obviously have been dealing with this for a long time. But I had 5 girls with me today on the golf course, young ladies, great girls. They all had their masks on, and we're out on the golf course. And it took me 2 holes for me to even recognize they all had masks on. So I'm programmed, and I said, "Hey girls, if you want, you can take your masks off. We're outside." And they're like, "Oh, it just feels good." I mean, we're just used to we're used to that. And that's our new way of life, I guess. Whether people choose to keep it on or off, that's their choice. Doesn't matter to me. But it's just interesting. And my parents are in Ontario, and they're living out in the country in northern Ontario up there in Thunder Bay, and I'm sure they're just chilling. They're not doing too much.
Bizarre.
Yeah,
all I can
it
say.
really is. And Jordan, I'm glad you said that. Nobody's trying to minimize what COVID was. Some of the reactions to COVID are real head scratching.
Yep.
I'm going to bite my tongue, and we're going to talk some golf when we come back. As a matter of fact, why don't we head up north? We are going to check in with Ken Griffin, the golf director of sales and marketing up at Boyne. So much going on that we're looking forward to, and maybe you're looking forward to heading back up that way. Well, Ken Griffin will tell you what to expect. In the meantime, I'll tell you, you're listening to Spin on Golf on a Sunday night right here on 760 WJR.
Mike, we should have got Hellman on for a few minutes.
No, we can. We can have him on next week if we want. This is going to continue till June 2nd.
We should probably try to get him on for like a half of a segment.
I think so. Yeah,
Mike
because he
Parsons-
needs to tell
Mike
us about
Parsons,
life.
if you're listening, I'm waiting for the apology, not from you,
Oh,
but for all the people that told me 9 months ago when I was screaming lockdowns are a waste of time. They can all line up and apologize to me now.
well, I mean, the thing about lockdowns is they work, but they have to keep going on forever to work.
You got it. It was a waste of time.
I don't know how a lockdown works. I don't know how a lockdown works.
Well, the
I'll
line
never
that I
understand
used,
it.
BC, the line that I used on the show, and Mike was privy to a lot of these shows, I said the governor thinks if we play hide and seek, COVID's going to get frustrated and just leave. Oh, darn, I can't get anybody, so I guess it's time to go to another state.
It's not going to go anywhere.
And it doesn't cross the border.
No.
Legionnaire's disease is still here, isn't it? The flu is still here, isn't
COVID doesn't have a passport.
it? COVID does not have a passport. I don't
Yeah,
get
my
it.
sister's daughter, who's almost 2, still hasn't seen another kid.
They're incredible.
Really?
Nope.
I
Phil
mean,
is
there's
not-
something wrong with
I
this.
guess they were outside last week and she saw this kid across the street and she was just like mesmerized by this other little kid that was
Yeah.
running around.
My last conversation with my father was through a screen window.
Oh, jeez.
Isn't that? It's just
That's
I
crazy.
get that, Sean. Yeah.
Just-
I
And,
get
and there's so many people who haven't been able to, do the normal mourning process when it comes to funerals and stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
to me, obviously, your story's heartbreaking, Sean, but just the fact that people can't, sort of have that.
Yeah, we're doing ours this week,
Yeah.
Saturday.
And who are you guys mourning?
My father
How long ago did he pass?
last September.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. My brother-in-law lost his mom a year ago, and they still haven't been able to.
Wow.
Yeah.
oh.
That's crazy.
Put it to rest, call it what you may, but
Right.
it's for
Well,
us. I
and
guess.
families need that too, because they get together, they tell stories, they
Mhm.
they need that closure.
Yep. He passed on April 14th, and we had the memorial this past Tuesday. So we, in that regard, we were lucky that we could. Now,
Yeah.
granted, there were 28 people there.
25 people. Yeah. What are you
Yeah.
going to do? There's not 250 people like there
Yeah.
should have been, right?
Yeah.
Which,
If we got is Ken on StreamYard?
No, he's on the
on
phone,
the phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
and he's on hold. Eric messaged us
Do we
there.
get to pull up his mug that we got there on the
Oh, I'll pull up his mug. Don't you
we
worry.
like to look at him.
Yeah,
It's not the best shot.
it's from his LinkedIn.
That's okay.
I usually use people's LinkedIn or Twitter because I know they posted it, so like
Oh,
it's,
they're okay with it.
it's sanctioned, yeah,
Yeah,
so to
okay.
speak.
Sanction.
Right. It's not a
This is a sanctioned show.
sanctioned show.
Say that 10 times.
fast.
Yeah.
Sanctioned show.
Wow, we got a lot of stuff going on in this room tonight, guys. It's
Yeah.
pretty bizarre.
Yeah, these are the swag bags for the golf outing this week.
Hey Sean, would you like a gift bag for the next
Yes.
week's show?
Okay, if
Yes.
any of these go missing, that's going to be Exhibit 1. It's on
Let's-
on video.
Let's see what we got.
Oh.
We got a nice mug.
I don't think we're supposed to do that, but
I put it all back.
Jordan
I
Young
think
was
it's-
seen taking 4 trophies and putting them in his trunk on Sunday night.
Oh, there's a free massage.
Whoa.
411 help there.
Parsons, what a great line. What a great line. I don't think we're allowed to do that.
Back for another round. It's the Spin on Golf Show, presented by Rocket Mortgage and the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Once again, your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Mike Fay, Brian Cairns, and WJR's own Sean Belichin.
Oh, always having fun on a Sunday night. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying what you're hearing because we're enjoying talking with you here on 760 WJR Spin on Golf. The fellas say it all the time, and I'll tell you what, you want picturesque? I'm not sure it gets much more picturesque than heading up to Emmett County and taking a look at just some of the most beautiful courses your eyes will ever see. A guy that knows just a little something about that is the golf director of sales and marketing up at Boyne. He is Mr. Ken Griffin, kindly joining us here on Spin on Golf. And first of all, Ken, really appreciate you taking the time and joining us here on 760 WJR. How are you, sir?
Well, great. And you guys always have fun. And gentlemen, thanks for inviting me.
No, we appreciate chatting with you. You know, I don't know how often you've heard the fellas say this, Ken, but, you know, everybody talks about planning their golf trip and, you know, they want to go to exotic places and everything. And I've heard each one of these guys say, hey, stay here in this state. There are plenty of places to go. And certainly Boyne is at the forefront.
Well, thank you very much. You know, everybody keeps us working harder. I mean, there is so much great golf in the state of Michigan, and we're just fortunate. We like to say there's a lot of great golf, and we hope we have some of the better golf.
Hey,
Well,
what's
there's no
new
doubt.
with you guys? It's been such a, I don't even know what word to use anymore. Interesting, crazy, unbelievable year. How's it been for you guys up there?
Well, think back a year ago when I think at this time last year we had one, maybe two courses open, and by the end of May we had all 10 open. But we didn't know if we were going to be open the next week, and we didn't know what the rules were going to be if we were open the next week. It certainly was a moving target, and very slow May and June, but picked up in the back half of June, and we ended up having a great year. And we're looking forward to a great year. Now we know we can do this, and as regulations and guidelines start to be relaxed, that's even better news. But golf was one of the things obviously that you could get out and do, and minimize the risk and enjoy being outside and not being locked in your four walls. And we were glad to be part of it.
Once again, Ken Griffin kindly joining us. BC, I know you wanted to chat with Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, Brian.
How many different counties are we in? I know Sean said Emmett,
Charlevoix
but
and
I
Emmett.
know we're in more than one, right? We're in Charlevoix and Emmett, right?
Yeah.
Boyd,
We're in
USA.
two, yeah. Parts in both.
Right. So you've got two different counties, extremely diverse landscapes on every golf course. Obviously, you go from the Highlands to the mountain back to Bay Harbor. I mean, what else do you want, guys? It's pretty awesome. I mean, and Boyne does golf. I mean, they're good at what they do. They really are.
Yeah, I think Jordan here. I just want to say it's just you just feel at home. You feel comfortable. It's relaxing. The courses are beautiful. I mean, it's just awesome up there. I love it up there.
Yep.
Guys, you can't see me, but you're making me blush.
Just being honest.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's been going on my whole life. Just go up to Boyne, and it's kind of been, you guys keep the family together, the same people. I say that all the time when I talk to somebody at Boyne. It's nice to see the same people always over and over and over again every year. Birdie and the crew and yourself included, and Steven do an unbelievable job of doing that.
But there are some changes, as I
Well,
said.
yeah, no, the family does a great job of giving us resources. They hire good people, maybe me excluded, but they hire really good people, and then they give them the resources to try and do their job, and that's why we have the variety and the quality that we have. From a change standpoint, last year there weren't a lot, but this year we started it last fall. The big project is Ross #1, which is a replica of Seminole #6. And you'll see the difference right off the tee box there. Through some of the latest technologies, we're able to better replicate what that looks like. So you're going to see trees removed. You're going to see more waste area. It's going to more replicate the feel you would get with fescue grasses and things down in Florida.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, it's hard to do. Like you said, with technology, we can get better, but and then there's another thing as far as spending money and doing it. That's really nice to see. It really is.
I see you guys have TrackMan Range.
Oh boy.
And that it's a big investment, but what a great tool. We've added a 30-bay TrackMan Range to the Ross, to that 32-acre practice facility at the Ross. So everything for anybody that's been up there right in front of the parking lot, that whole side is really committed to the TrackMan Range. And, TrackMan, everybody's familiar with the little orange squares that they see the pros use over the weekend. But TrackMan Range takes it to another level because now it takes it to everybody. You can download the TrackMan app on your phone, and you can stand there with a bucket of balls and actually trace every shot. You can get 8 key data points. So, you can really geek out if you want to as far as the data. But it goes further than that because you can just go have fun with your friends. Golf Entertainment, I saw in an article, Golf Entertainment, that Jason Deegan wrote with Golf Pass last week. And there's part of that, too, because there are games available on TrackMan that you can just, have long drive contest or play closest to the pin or shoot for score like you do at some of the golf simulator facilities. That just great golfer or somebody learning, it's just a great tool and a lot of fun.
Ken Griffin, Boyne Golf Director of Sales and Marketing, kindly joining us here, Spin on Golf on 760 WJR. Mike, I know, as I mentioned, you're very familiar with Boyne. I know you had some comments for Ken.
Yes, Ken, how are you, my friend? Very happy
Good,
to
Mike,
have
to
you.
hear you.
Very good. Hey, I want to know, one of my favorite golf courses to play at Boyne is the Moor. And I see we've done some stuff to the Moor. Let's talk a little bit about the Moor and what different changes we've made there.
Yeah, the Moore's a great course to play, but it wasn't always the easiest course to play. I mean, you really had to be careful with shot selection, and what we found was better golfers really enjoyed it, but it wasn't as much fun for everybody. So I call them subtle but significant. So every hole we've made to play the fairways more playable off the tee, either widening or lengthening. We've improved the approach angles into the green, and also enhanced shot options around the green, so that we're trying to minimize the tough chips, or even just give you more shot options. You'll, from further away, you'll be able to putt it or bump and run, or still go ahead and loft it if you want, but just giving you more options so you feel more comfortable 18 times as you're trying to get into the hole.
That's
Awesome.
kind of funny that you brought that up, Mike, because everybody always thought, well, what's the best course at Boyne? It's like, well, I'm a Ross favorite, one of my favorite courses. But I said the most difficult and the most penal is the Moore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head that your potential for an average player of shooting a higher score is definitely higher on the Moore than any of the golf course at Boyne.
A couple of years ago, as many times as I've been up to Boyne, and I think it's probably been 25 years or something like that, I played the Moore for the first time 2 years ago.
Oh my God.
By myself, beautiful out
It's a cool golf course.
at night.
Yeah, it is.
And it was awesome. So I want to try to play it again.
Yeah,
it was
it's a
great.
cool
It was
place.
awesome.
Right.
Great golf course.
Yeah, I
You
haven't
can walk,
played yet.
right?
Yeah. We like you to take carts around, but it is one of the courses that is walkable, and I've driven it to see the changes, and I'm excited, but I didn't have a club in my hands when I played it, so I'm anxious to get out on it.
Well, the Ross is walkable. You just might be dead by the end of it.
I walked it when I won the PGA there in '96, and my caddy's like, "Really? We're gonna walk again?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, going up 5 fairway at the Ross. Good luck."
Oh boy.
Ken Griffin, Boyne Golf Director of Sales and Marketing, joining us. So, Ken, is there anything else new at Boyne? Things that you were excited about? Mike was telling us before the show started. You know, he knew that there were some things coming, and you guys are making it happen. Anything else you want the listeners to know, the golfers to know, if they're planning to make that trip up to Boyne? And of course, I think we can all enthusiastically say you should plan to make that trip.
Well, thanks. The biggest thing I would say is, the rules are changing, and we think this year in a better direction than they were a year ago. There were some press conferences last year. We're trying to work out all the details, but always go to BoyneGolf.com, not just to book your tee times or your rooms. You can do that, but also what to expect. We've got an FAQ, and we update that as soon as we get new information on rules and regulations or how things are handled, because we want you to have a really good idea of your expectations whenever you get there, so there are no surprises.
If you haven't been up there, you know what? All you have to do, there's this thing called Google. Just type in Boyne and take a look at. I mean, every picture seems like a golf postcard. It really does. It's so beautiful up there. In fact, even the picture that we're using on StreamYard of Ken, they inform me it's from your LinkedIn. What a beautiful view just over your left shoulder.
Heather 12. Heather 12.
13.
That's 13.
Yeah, Hill's
Good guess.
13.
Hill's 13. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely
down that
beautiful.
hill. Hey,
Ken?
you know what? You know the one good thing, Ken? The trout.
What?
Don't get COVID.
The trout don't get COVID.
Yeah. Well, the Hills for
Boyne.
sure is one you want to take a cart on, because that cart path is actually 9 miles long, and with all the vertical up and down there, that's one for sure you want to have your bag on a cart.
Right.
The trout have the masks on.
Yeah, I'm sure the trout. The trout are ready for flies at Boyne Falls. I can tell you that much.
Ken, continued success to you. We appreciate you. And as always, if there's anything that we can help you with, need to get the word out about anything, we're just a phone call away. We appreciate your time here tonight on Spin on Golf.
Guys, thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you when you come up to visit.
Ken Griffin kindly joining us here. Spin on Golf on 760 WJR. It is so funny, guys. I mean, even before we talked to Ken, I mean, full disclosure, I was looking at some of the pictures just going, oh. Yeah, I mean, it looks so stinking beautiful up there. It really does.
There are some cool ones, at Bay Harbor, and you play in the par 3 that looks right over the Bay Harbor and some of the homes and where Madonna's home used to be. That's one of my favorite down that par 3. And then at the top of number 12 on the Heather, the par 5 dogleg left as you scan over 13 and 14 and down towards the lake there. That's pretty cool at the mountain.
Oh, Boyne Mountain. Oh, yeah.
At the
12T.
Boyne
12T
Mountain.
is one of the coolest
Those are my
spots,
two
right?
kind of go-to spots, and it's just cool up there.
Mike, is there a favorite spot for you up there?
Well, there's a few. Jordan just talked about it there on the Alpine Golf Course at Boyne Mountain. It's fantastic looking down the Jordan Valley. It's amazing in the summertime. The wind blows up the mountain, which you don't realize, which is fantastic when you're teaching golf on the range because the wind's blowing right to left and makes me look like a way better teacher. Number 13 on the hills is great. Just overlooking northern Michigan. It's just beautiful. I mean, you can see forever up there. And then, there's so many views on the links and the quarry there at Bay Harbor. You just won't forget. It's a great place.
There are times when you're walking around up there where honestly, am I in Michigan? Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are. It really is that awesome up there. All right. Final segment of the show coming up on a Sunday night. So glad you could join us. We're going to see if Jordan can get his hand out of some of those gift bags out at the DGC as well. So glad you could join us.
I got a bunch here if you want some.
Right here on 760 WJR.
Mike,
Oh my!
you can't do that.
You can't just put it back. Come on.
I can't hear the station. Mike,
I
can
can't
you?
either.
No, I couldn't hear it very well.
No, I got
either.
nothing.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
you're
he was
getting-
playing
you're
any
getting
outro
scolded.
music or anything, I couldn't
My
hear
wife?
it.
Yeah.
My wife,
Yeah, it was a
scolded
little
me
low.
because- my wife scolded me because I said, which she's right. I said, girls get
Girls.
more emotional
Oh.
than guys do.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say they do. I say they're probably different.
I feel like
Yeah,
BC's wife should be sitting next to us with like a shot collar or something.
I thought you were going to say a shotgun.
Don't give her any ideas.
Oh,
I got one
boy.
sitting downstairs there. Don't give her any ideas.
Oh,
Listening to
my.
Facebook too.
All right,
so she-
where are we going with this one?
yeah, this
LPGA?
one, none. No LPGA.
Not playing
Yeah,
this week.
duh.
No, we got to go.
We got the PGA. We kind of
No, we got the KitchenAid, right?
we got the
We're not going to finish with
2
that.
weeks. KitchenAid.
In 2
Week
weeks,
after,
that's right.
Week after in Tulsa. Yep.
There was something we were going to talk about.
I don't think that we talked in the crosstalk. We talked about the PGA. Did we talk about it here, like the odds and all that? Did we?
No, we
do
should
that?
talk about
We
that.
should go
Okay.
there. We
All
got to
right.
get picks.
What
We gotta
about
get
what about
odds.
Dog? You going to mention Dog?
Yeah, Dog's playing the regionals. Yep, down in Nashville.
Did he
starting
leave
tomorrow
yesterday
morning.
or today?
No, he left last night.
Oh,
Him and Casey played today, and
okay.
so he kind of likes it. Talked to him today, and he's off 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
You can mention that. Follow on GolfStat.
Tennessee. Yep, following GolfStat. Tennessee Regional
Okay.
or Chattanooga Regional. No, Nashville Regional. Golf Club of Tennessee.
I got some odds in front of me. I'll read the odds, okay?
Okay. That's fine.
I'm an odds guy. Odd. Ball ish.
1 minute.
Wow.
Made my senior debut on Monday. Or no, on Thursday.
He couldn't finish the deal.
Yeah, I couldn't finish the deal. 5-way playoff.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Mention that.
I've never been in a 10-person playoff before.
Wow.
I mean, they said, I heard Zink stand up and say, yeah, we're going to all tee off at once. I went, okay, time for me to go home. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we came in and nobody was there.
I'm like, okay, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. Boyd Barth. And
Boyd
his
Barth.
partner, I can't remember his partner's name now.
It's the same guy as
Steve.
always.
Steve.
Right. Uh-huh.
Steve something.
I was in the higher division, older division.
Welcome back to the Spin on Golf Show presented by Rocket Mortgage and the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Now back to your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Mike Fay, Brian Cairns, and WJR's own Sean Belegian.
You know, before we get into some PGA odds and predictions from these guys, Jordan, you Yeah, you saved this, and I'm intrigued. How did you play?
Well,
you can't save information like this. This is great information.
I'll just say this. We've been doing this show for a while, and whether we're good or bad or not, or people listen or not, who does it matter? Well, I don't
Rocket
know.
does.
But-
Rocket Mortgage. Yeah.
But we get people coming up to us during the week saying, wow, I can't believe you guys talked about that or talked about this. Well, last week, somebody said, wow, no mention about BC winning the Pro,
That's my fault.
which
I
was the
forgot.
thought last week. Now, that's a pretty big event. I mean, Brian and I have won it 3
Yep.
times together, I think.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? All we talk about is BC and him playing all over the place. So I just kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything. So Andrew Mogg was like, well, wow, I can't believe you guys didn't mention. I go, well, him and Ben Cook won. Congrats to him. All right.
Congrats.
Take the
So-
best player in the state.
So, anyways, I had to give you some props
Thank
here,
you.
BC. But yeah, Thursday, thanks to Dave Zink for hosting. I think it was their 5th year hosting the Senior Pro Senior Am. So it was my inaugural trip.
Indian win.
So as I walked out to the range, let's just say there was not a lot of fanfare, and a lot of people didn't say very many nice things to me.
Blank are you doing?
They asked me what the heck I was doing there. I
Yeah.
said, I'm here playing against all you old, right? And they're like, okay. So anyways, my partner and I, we had a good time. We played with Kevin Muir and Kenny Hudson.
Kenny Hudson. Yeah.
And my partner, Dave Vaklev, and we managed to get in a 5-way playoff for first. We shot 5 under.
Wow.
And,
Indian went old, man. Still has teeth. Doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's
we were
still
well,
good.
we were 3 under through 4, and just kind of I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever. But anyways, I've never been in a 5-way playoff.
Whoa.
And obviously, it was at 2-person best
That's a lot
ball.
of people.
And needless to say, we lost on the 3rd hole. The winning team, Boyd Barth and his partner, Scott Worth,
Scott Worth.
they birdied all 3 holes.
Oh my
Now,
lord.
how about this? One of the other teams chipped in. Stallcup's team chipped in on the 1st hole and the 2nd hole.
Oh, vey. And you know the funny thing is, you guys were only 500. They buried 3 holes in a row. What the heck?
I know. So, anyways, that was my coming out for my senior, and I'm looking forward to the Senior Open and the Senior PGA.
Mhm.
Hopefully, compete against Brian here, and
Ugh.
so that's all I got. I'm done for the year now.
All right,
State
before we
Pro-Am
get
in
to
a couple weeks.
before we get to the PGA, I always like to ask you guys, Mike Fay, what's new in your world?
Well, I'm looking forward to next year turning a senior. So I'm the baby of the
Like a
crew.
corner.
So that way I can like cruise on up to the front tees, and I'll be
Yes.
pretty
you
excited
guys
about that.
think It's great. It's not that great.
Yeah, like I said, I am.
1 year was
Yeah.
great, but then after that, it went downhill.
Well,
But
no, I mean you win all the time, BC. It's awesome.
Oh, okay.
I am up north right now, celebrating my daughter's birthday. It's beautiful out. Get up north. It's good stuff. Get out, play golf, you guys. That's what I want to
Is
say.
that Mike's
Um,
corner? That's it. That's all Mike's going to give us tonight.
It's. Oh, I don't have a corner ready for.
You don't
tonight.
have,
I'm
you don't have
sorry,
a
guys.
punk of the week or anything like that?
No, but I know that BC had some thoughts of the punk of the week, though. I think we
I'll tell
talked
you what.
about it, though.
It's the whole province of Ontario. Are you kidding
The
me?
Premier of Ontario.
Whatever.
Okay,
Get over it.
the whole
Play
province
golf.
of Ontario.
Play golf. No, I'm just saying. Come on, play golf.
Okay, play golf.
Come
Let them free.
Really. Let 'em
That's
out.
good. Look at on our StreamYard, the entire province of Ontario. And then
There it
there's
is.
a picture.
I didn't mean to
All
throw the
right.
whole province under the water. The poor
Oh,
people.
man.
They want, come on, let them play golf. Come
Hey,
on.
you're not disrespecting anybody, BC. You're including the entire province of Ontario. So congratulations to the entire province of Ontario.
Thank you.
All
you,
right.
you are our POW this week. All right, very quickly, guys. I saw this on Sportsline. Some odds for the PGA: Rory 10-1, Dustin Johnson 12-1, John Rahm 12-1, Justin Thomas 14-1, Bryson 14-1, Jordan Spieth 16-1, Xander 16-1, Brooks Koepka 20-1, Morikawa at 22-1, and I'll tell you what. When Finau wins, I'll be there to tell you I told you so. He's at 33-1. I might be saying I told you so for a while, but I'll still act like it was fresh. What jumps out to you about this this crew heading into this week?
I would number one say high ball hitter. For one, high and far doesn't hurt, but high ball hitter number one, and you identified a guy that, yeah, he hits it high enough. John Rahm,
Corey Connors 66-1.
66.
Hits it high. Hits
Yeah.
it far enough.
Yeah.
Paul Casey's 50-1.
Oh, I like that pick.
Louis Oosthuizen 50-1.
Not high enough. not long
Fleetwood
enough.
40.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to hit the ball high to some of those hole locations that are going to be hidden behind those little moundings. And
Matsuyama
Matsuyama,
25-1.
oh boy, he could do well.
Former
there too.
PGA champion Keegan Bradley, 100-1.
Oh, he's not
playing
going to win.
pretty good.
He's not going to win.
You don't hit straight enough, I don't think, to play Kiwa.
No.
God, just going to come back to bite me, I'm sure. But I would say it's got to be high. So I'm taking all the high ball guys this week, and the wins are down. And like Mike said, you better have a great short game. But I think that won't be an issue with the wins being down.
How is
Mike.
John Daly at 1,000-1, and so is Rich Beam? John Daly has a way better chance to win than Rich Beam.
But Rich Beam's
We played it with Rich Beam.
going to have a better time than John Daly.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I don't know. That's a coin
They're probably
toss.
going to have a good time together. I don't know. Omar Uresti, 300-1.
Don't you have to? I mean, if you're going to put down a little wager, though, don't you almost have to go, okay, I'll go with one of the guys near the top, but pick that. I don't know, like using your example, Mike, pick that guy who's 100-1. Hey, you know what? He's playing well. His style might suit South Carolina. I mean, isn't that the way you got to play something like this?
Sometimes, right? I mean, he's been playing pretty good, right? I'm like, why not throw something on that? I mean, he has. He's been playing better and better. You never know.
You get the odd guy in the major, but you always get the cream come to the crop in the majors, or cream come to the top. But I'm always kind of take a fielder's choice.
So Rory's won last week, and now he's won there in the past in 2012. It seems like a nice fit for him. He's got good vibes there, and Jordan Spieth's been playing well. A couple other guys have been playing well. So who knows? I mean, it trends towards Rory, but look at the horse yesterday that didn't win, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
How
our
do you
buddy
know?
Eric Dortch, who is part of the Golf Elite, our producer back in the studio, says Morikawa for the win.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, ED. You know what? We'll talk to you offline. Just kidding.
I like
Knowing
Morikawa.
Eric Dortch, guys, if
wonder-
Morikawa does win, we'll
I haven't
never
seen a
hear the end of it.
Marcero. I haven't seen a Marcero chime in.
And good luck to your Habs next week, because they're going down, my friend.
They
They're going
need
down.
it. They need it. Insert your 1967 joke, and
Thank you.
don't forget that Toronto is part of the whole province of Ontario.
But
So
they're not the
therefore,
punk of the week.
They are punk of the week.
Unbelievable. I'm not going to let this go.
For Mike Fay, for BC, for Jordan Young, we thank Mike Parsons and Eric Dortch. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again next week.
Bye.
Yes, sir.